Ja, Leute, die US-Kampagne ist durch. Und wir starten jetzt die Japan-Kampagne. Ja, die letzte US-Kampagne war ich jetzt nicht begeistert, muss ich sagen. Mal gucken, ob es die Japan-Kampagne jetzt
Following the treacherous.
Since time immemorial, the Japanese were renowned warriors, stalwart, honorable, and bound by duty. However, the 20th century came, and proud descendants of Yamato State found themselves overshadowed by the world's superpowers, the United States and the British Empire. Striving to become their equal, the Empire of Japan began to amass military strength and quickly ran into a dire shortage of resources. It led to conquering the territories of China and Indochina. The United States and its allies were quick to react, condemning Japan as a warmonger and putting an embargo on all strategic resources imported by Japan. Hull's note was soon to follow, putting an ultimatum to the Japanese government. Leave all newly conquered territories or suffocate due to a trade embargo. You, as Admiral Isoroku Yamamoto, the Commander-in-Chief of the Combined Fleet, have to carry out the Emperor's order and wage war against the United States and its allies in the Pacific Ocean. You understand that this is an insurmountable undertaking, as the enemy economic power is tenfold and its numeric advantage on the sea is too overwhelming. Yet none of it is a valid reason to forego your duty before His Majesty the Emperor and your country. Bound by honor, you come up with a desperate plan of how to equalize the forces.
Jo, jetzt die Japaner. Da würde ich sagen, wir legen los.
Admiral Yamamoto, reporting the results of the exercises. All targets were hit. During the past few months, our pilots have improved the effectiveness of their torpedo attacks significantly.
Good. I will personally express our gratitude for their distinguished service.
Fighter pilots are asking for permission to use aerobatics during training flights and military exercises. Previously, we have forbidden such training due to a high mortality rate among pilots.
Permission granted. If the war breaks out and our pilots are ill-prepared, we will have many more deaths. They should train rigorously.
Yes, sir.
My, how beautiful the blossoming sakura is. Do you not think so, Yamamoto? It has already started to blossom while our Navy is still resisting any decisive actions against the United States.
The sakura blossom is magnificent indeed, but soon its flowers will fall. Would not the whole of Japan fall as well if we enter the hopeless war against the United States and Great Britain, Army Minister Tojo?
The Army is sworn to protect the Emperor, but without fuel we cannot perform our duty. Thus, we need to occupy Indochina and utilize its oil production.
That action will only worsen the situation. I am afraid as of now, 80% of our fuel is imported from the U.S. If we invade Indochina, we will get a powerful enemy and still be left without fuel.
So what? Do we have to keep dancing to the Yankees' tune? Absolutely not! We cannot wait for their wretched pittance. We must take what is necessary to protect our emperor and our homeland without paying attention to anyone else.
The Navy as a whole and myself personally stand firmly against the war with the United States. They will immediately be joined by Great Britain and the Netherlands. Their combined forces are too powerful.
Our samurai spirit and faith in the emperor will help us overcome any foe.
I see it as a not well considered childishness. Only the personal command of the emperor, whom I faithfully serve, will make me lead the Navy against the United States.
Japanese troops invaded southern French Indochina on July the 28th, 1941. In response, the U.S. government imposed trade sanctions on Japan, including the freezing of Japanese assets in the United States and an embargo of oil exports to Japan.
The whole note. It is preposterous. How many more insults do we have to endure? The Yankees want to keep us on a leash, put us in the doghouse, only to be fed their leftovers. This is equal to a declaration of war.
You have become a prime minister, General Tojo, but have not become more prudent. Did you really expect the United States to ignore our occupation of Indochina? A wise man will always find a way to avoid...
Admiral Yamamoto, can you not finally understand? If we succumb to the United States without a fight, we will surely become just one more state in the United States and the Japanese nation will be lost forever. Whereas, if we accept the fight, uneven as it may be, then even if we lose, our descendants will be able to revive Japan and keep on living while holding their heads high.
It is not you who will be dying, General Tojo. It is Japanese youth.
If necessary, I am more than ready to give my own life for the Emperor, our country, and its future.
And who gave you the right to decide for the whole of Japan?
His Majesty the Emperor has decreed that we develop and execute an attack against the United States fleet in order to protect our interests in the Pacific Ocean.
I will comply with the Emperor's will. I expect that we will officially declare war on the U.S. right before the beginning of our attack. We must not dishonor our country in the whole world's eyes.
I think you have a point, Admiral. I will make sure to warn our diplomats.
Admiral Yamamoto, the Navy headquarters have devised a plan of attack on Pearl Harbor according to your instructions. Our first air fleet will annihilate the U.S. Pacific Fleet with one decisive blow.
I consider it my duty to remind you that I always consider this fancy plan of yours an unjustified gamble. We must proceed with time-tested methods, not some fantasies.
Time-tested methods are great if the opponents have equal strength. We, on the other hand, have to make a miracle for Japan to come out victorious after this war.
Aye, aye, Admiral.
Ogaki, please provide our diplomats with the exact timing of the upcoming attack. They have to make public our declaration of war before we begin the attack.
Consider it done.
Tomorrow I have to leave Tokyo together with my fleet. I cannot say where we are headed, but I won't be back for quite a while. I'm afraid that food shortages will soon begin all over Japan. With this, you will not starve.
Yamamoto-san is too kind to me. I will miss you so much. Please, write to me as often as you can. Your letters are always so wonderful.
I definitely will. You too should not forget your good old Yamamoto.
From Prime Minister Tojo to Admiral Yamamoto. The die is cast. The great Japanese nation is going to war to protect its sovereign land and legitimate interests from this insidious enemy's assault. Japan has never confronted such a powerful and dangerous adversary as the USA. However, with the help of the gods, we'll carry out our plan. The samurai spirit and willingness to sacrifice will lead us to victory. The Emperor has entrusted you, Admiral Yamamoto, with the combined fleet, as you are the most dignified and skillful naval commander. The fleet is facing the task of great importance, and the fate of the nation depends on your command. Now you must deal a sudden, devastating blow to the enemy, which they will not be able to recover from. I order you to start the operation with full confidence in the power of the Imperial fleet and in the blessings of ancient spirits on your noble mission. Glory to the Emperor!
Admiral Chuichi Nagumo, commander of the task force speaking. We are now within striking distance from Pearl Harbor. No activity of the American fleet is detected. I request to clarify the tactical situation and location of the targets utilizing the latest intelligence.
Great, Admiral Nagumo. Now my Chief of Staff, Admiral Matome Ugaki, will provide you with relevant data.
According to the provisionally adopted plan, we must defeat the forces of the U.S. Pacific Fleet, concentrated in Pearl Harbor, with a sudden and powerful blow from our carrier-based aircraft. At the same time as the airstrike, our submarines should secretly enter the harbor and torpedo the enemy ships. Unfortunately, both U.S. Pacific Fleet carriers left Pearl Harbor a few days ago. Their current location is unknown. However, according to the intelligence reports, the 8 battleships that constitute the U.S. fleet's essential strength are compactly concentrated in the eastern part of the harbor. In order to weaken the enemy's forces enough, we must sink at least 4 of them. Although it would be preferable to have all of them destroyed. Also, it is crucial to neutralize American aviation. It is an easy target now, as it is concentrated at the airfields. I suggest you bomb them before the majority of the enemy planes can get airborne. Besides ships and planes, the infrastructure must become our next goals. The enemy's northern, central, and southern oil storage facilities, the shipyard, and the power plant in Pearl City. I would like to stress again that Pearl Harbor must be struck suddenly and severely. We should not give the enemy a chance to recover and organize effective defense. There are radar systems in the north of Oahu. With the help of those, the enemy can see our forces from a distance. This has to be considered during the operation. That's all.
Well then, I command to start the attack. And may our ancestor spirits be with us.
Okay. Wow, einiges so. Zerstören Sie die Tanklager. Ja. Zerstören Sie die Kraftwerke. Zerstört das Kraftwerk, Entschuldigung. Zerstöre die Luftanlagen. Okay. Versenke die Schlachtschiffe. So, dann würde ich sagen, Aufklärung. Okay. Wir gucken, dass wir erstmal diese Radaranlage da auseinandernehmen.
Our American friends have panicked. We are intercepting their messages. SOS. We have been attacked by the Japanese. Japanese aircraft have reached Oahu. And this is real. This is a Japanese attack.
Looks like those Japanese have ruined the Americans' day off.
Okay. Da ist eine Flak. Okay, jetzt mal gucken. Komm. bis hier. Hier. Okay, man kommt bis hier hin, korrekt? Ja, korrekt. Okay, dann lass uns mal gucken. Flugzeuge, Jäger. Das sind meine. Oh, die haben noch gar nichts. Dann, was kostet das? 80. Ja, komm. Machen wir. Das geht nicht während der Aufstellphase. Ah, toll. Pass auf, da kriegst du mal eine Bombe. Kann ja auch nützlich sein. Wenn ich die Bombe aktiviere, was mache ich dann? 3 Schaden. So, meine Jäger müssen ausgestattet werden. Das hier. Bombe. Moment, hast du jetzt keine Bombe gekriegt? Ups. So. Wir konnten eigentlich dich mal ausschalten, oder? Ja. Ah, guck mal, da oben habe ich noch einen Flugzeugträger. Wie schön. Wie schön. Sturzkampfbomber. Zu mir? Ja, das ist so grün, hellgrün unterlegt. Das verwirrt mich jetzt. Ah, du scheinst auch mir zu sein. Also kriegst du auch die Bombe hier. Ah, ich habe kaum Dinger. Ich brauche für die anderen bestimmt auch noch Torpedos und so ein Kram. Und die Dinger kosten natürlich auch Geld, ne? Kosten Torpedos Geld? Ja, könnte sein. Ich kann sie eh nicht nutzen, ja. Ist okay. Dann hier drauf. Da können wir jetzt mal gucken. Der hat ein Torpedo. Kostet ein Torpedo Geld. 30. Na, es geht ja noch. Für ein Ding. Hier macht er 3 Schaden. Hier macht er 2. Ja, die Dinger hier müssen weg, damit ich für den Schiffen da rankomme. So. Ja. Aufklärung. Flak, Flak. Sturzkampfbomber. Holen wir das. Dann kriegst du mal das noch mit. Schicken wir mal. So, ich würde sagen, machen wir erstmal hier die platt, oder? Oh, 5. Wenn ich das mache, 6. Wenn ich das mache, dann sind die doch besser, ne? Ja. Du hast ein Torpedo. Sehr schön. Zusatztank. Machen wir das. Yes. Mit einem Schlag gekillt. Torpedobombe. Torpedobombe, ja, ja. Gut, das war's, ne? Ja, das war's hier. Okay. So, die U-Boote, die schicken wir mal da rein. Frage, jetzt haben wir hier das Zeug. Das müssen wir mal gucken gleich. Scheint nicht so zu sein. Die Doktrin. Oh, wir kriegen ein U-Boot gestellt. Was hatten das dabei? Nix. Ja, okay. So, hier hin. Dann ziehen wir die Flugzeugträgerflotte hier runter. Du hier runter. Du hier runter. Ja, nächste Aufklärung. Oh shit, da sind Flugzeuge drauf. Das heißt, da müssen wir was tun. Das ist das Kraftwerk. Das müssen wir noch zerstören, ja. Die Werftanlage. Ja, würde ich sagen, geht's mal los, ne? Kurzkampfbomber. Wo man das hier mit scheint wohl doch ein bisschen effektiver, aber ich hole dich trotzdem auch mal mit. Vielleicht bringt's ja was. Aber hier sind Flugzeuge drauf. Ganz ehrlich, das bevorzuge ich doch mal gerade wirklich mehr. Torpedobomber. Torpedobomber. Okay, würde ich sagen. Nichts riskieren. Nichts riskieren, dass da irgendwas hochkommt. So. Hier haben wir noch drin. Kurzkampfbombe. Und da haben wir die Schiffe. Schau mal eine an. Da ist eine Flak. Ja, sollte man auch drauf gehen, würde ich sagen, ne? Und mit dem kriegen wir 6 hin. Ja, damit. So, Torpedobomber. Yes. So, gut. Habe ich jetzt eigentlich alles gemacht, ne? Ja. Ja, erstmal so ein bisschen die Infrastruktur killen. Da sind Flugzeuge. Wir müssen halt gucken, dass die ja nicht starten. Wir müssen gucken, dass wir hier ganz schnell... Radaranlage. Ja, die muss auch weg. Das hier muss weg. Ja, da haben wir echt einiges vor uns. Gucken, dass wir die ja wegkriegen, dass dann die Schiffe nachher hier so drauf feuern können. Muss aber jetzt gucken, ob die das schaffen. Also von Entfernung 1, 2, 3, 4 sollte das gehen. Die Frage ist aber, ob es geht. Okay, ein Zerstörer da, ja. Gut, das war's schon. Okay. Was sagt die Zeit? Ja. Leute, hier mache ich einen Cut. Wir sehen uns hier beim nächsten Mal wieder. Ich denke, wir werden das hier vielleicht sogar mit den U-Booten machen. Müssen wir mal gucken, aber vielleicht bombardieren wir auch mal hier die Dinger. Gucken, dass wir hier die U-Boote so ein bisschen heranbringen und immer dann ein bisschen abhauen können. Das könnte so Mitte sein. Müssen wir mal gucken, wie ich das mache, wenn die hier stehen. Aber das werden wir alles dann beim nächsten Mal machen. Das war's hier von dem Part. Bis dann und ciao.